The Zalaxian Empire had watched Earth for centuries. They put humans in their records as a low-threat species, not worth talking to, not worth fighting. Just a note in their big space database. Valeria Mason stood at her command post on the lunar base, sipping her coffee as she looked out at Earth through the dome window. The blue planet glowed against the darkness of space. 6 years on the moon, and that view still gave her chills. "Commander, we're picking up something strange," said Kyle Peters, her communications officer. His fingers moved quickly over the glowing screen. Valeria put down her cup. "Define strange." "A signal, not one of ours." "It's—" Kyle paused, his face pale in the blue light of his screen. "It's not from Earth." The room went quiet. 20 years of space exploration, and humanity had found no signs of alien life. Until now. "Put it on speaker," Valeria ordered. The sound that filled the room was like nothing they had heard before. Part static, part music, with patterns that almost made sense before shifting again. "It's coming from a ship," said Diane Rogers, the radar specialist. "Small vessel, damaged from what we can tell, and it's heading straight for us." Valeria's training kicked in. "Alert Earth Command. Get me visual." The main screen flickered to show a sleek silver craft, about the size of a small airplane. One side was blackened, and it moved in an uneven path that suggested serious damage. "They're broadcasting in multiple frequencies," Kyle said. I think they're asking for help." Valeria faced a decision that no human had ever made before. Protocol said to wait for orders from Earth, to take no chances with unknown life forms. But the ship was clearly in distress. "Open a channel," she said, "and prepare Medical Bay 3 for possible non-human life forms." Kyle looked up in shock. "Commander, regulations state—" "I know what they state," Valeria cut him off. "But we're not letting anyone die on our doorstep, human or not. Dr. Wright, you're our biology expert. Get down to medical." Dr. Alan Wright nodded, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement. He had studied theoretical alien biology for 15 years. Now theory was about to become practice. The damaged ship landed shakily in the auxiliary bay. Security teams lined the walls, weapons ready. The medical team stood behind them with equipment no one was sure would work on an alien body. The ship's door opened with a hiss of escaping air. A figure stumbled out. It stood upright like a human, but was taller and thinner. Its skin shimmered with a bluish tint. 4 arms extended from its torso. Its face had no nose, just breathing slits and large eyes that blinked from side to side instead of up and down. The alien collapsed to its knees. "My name is Kiranath," it spoke in halting English. "I am a diplomatic envoy of the Zalaxian Empire, or what remains of it." Security looked to Valeria. She stepped forward. "I am Commander Valeria Mason of the United Earth Defense Force. You are granted temporary asylum." Kiranath looked up at the humans surrounding him. "You speak my language. Your record said your species had not achieved universal translation." "We don't have universal translation," Alan said, stepping closer with a medical scanner. "Our AI systems identified pattern similarities with known Earth languages after analyzing your initial transmission." The alien's eyes widened. "Impossible. Your species is classified as low threat. Category 3 development only." Valeria smiled slightly. "Perhaps your information is outdated." Kiranath looked around the advanced lunar base, taking in the technology that by his records, humans should not possess. "Everything is outdated now," he said quietly. "The Empire has gone silent. All of it. Thousands of worlds. Trillions of beings. No communication. No response. Just silence." His 4 hands trembled. "I fled when our defense systems turned against us. I came here because you were considered too primitive to be a target." Ellen helped the alien to stand. "Well, we're happy to disappoint you on that front. Now let's get you to medical and figure out what's happening to your empire." As they walked, Kiranath looked back at Valeria. "Commander, If the silence reaches Earth, run. Do not fight. Do not try to communicate. Just run. 3 days after Kurnath's arrival, Earth's leaders gathered in the underground meeting room beneath Geneva. Screens around the room showed faces from every continent. No one wanted to miss this historic meeting. Kurnath sat at the center table. His blue skin looked pale under the bright lights. Dr. Alan Wright sat beside him, monitoring the aliens' vital signs on a small device. Director Samantha Owens, head of Earth's Security Council, called the room to order. Her gray hair was pulled back tightly, and her eyes missed nothing. "We need to understand exactly what happened to your empire," she said to Kurnath. "Start from the beginning." The alien's 4 hands moved nervously. It began on our capital world, Zolax Prime. First, the main communication hub went dark. We thought it was a simple malfunction. Then backup systems failed. Then neighboring systems. Within 3 days, every planet in our central systems stopped responding. "How many planets are we talking about?" asked General Peter Wilson. "The Zolaxian Empire spans 6,328 inhabited worlds," Kurnath replied. "Home to over 4 trillion citizens of various species." A murmur ran through the room. Humanity had barely reached Mars with permanent colonies. The scale was hard to grasp. "Did you detect any attacks?" Valeria asked from her seat near the back. She had been brought from the moon specifically for this meeting. "Any signs of war?" "No, just silence." Then the defense systems on my diplomatic outpost began targeting their own operators. I'd barely escaped. Kurnath's breathing slits fluttered rapidly. "I chose Earth because our records showed you as a low-level civilization. I thought whatever was happening might overlook you." As if on cue, Lieutenant Joe Campbell entered the room. His uniform was wrinkled, and his eyes were red from lack of sleep. "Director Owens," he said, "we're detecting multiple ships entering the solar system. At least 12 different vessels of various designs. None match known Earth configurations." The room erupted in nervous chatter. "Are they Zolaxian?" Samantha asked. Joe shook his head. "Based on Kurnath's database, they appear to be from at least 7 different civilizations. All seem to be running from something." Kurnath stood up. "Others must have escaped too. They are refugees, like me." The Security Council debated what to do. Some wanted to turn the aliens away. Others suggested shooting them down before they brought whatever disaster had struck the Zolaxian Empire to Earth. Valeria stepped forward. "Director Owens, we need to decide now whether to reveal our true capabilities." The room went quiet. Earth's biggest secret hung in the air. For decades, humanity had hidden its technological advances. While developing colonies throughout the solar system, they maintained old-fashioned radio transmissions and outdated satellite technology that could be observed by alien civilizations. Meanwhile, their true tech level remained hidden underground, underwater, and on the far side of the moon. "If we reveal we have faster-than-light communication and advanced defense systems, we lose our cover," General Wilson warned. "The Zolaxians classified us as low threat for a reason. It's kept us safe." "Safe from what?" Ellen asked. "If their entire empire has gone silent, who exactly are we hiding from now?" Joe's communicator beeped. His face went pale as he read the message. "One of the approaching ships just sent us a transmission. They're asking for asylum. They say their homeworlds have all gone silent too. They detected our radio signals and hope we're primitive enough to have been spared." Samantha Owens looked around the room. Her decision would change human history forever. "Lieutenant Campbell, send a welcome message to those ships. Direct them to the Mars Quarantine Station." She turned to Kurnath. "We need everything you know about your empire's communication systems." "Why?" the alien asked. "Because humanity's greatest strength might be what your people saw as our greatest weakness." She pressed a button, and a holographic display appeared above the table, showing Earth's secret fleet of advanced ships hidden throughout the solar system. "We never standardized. We never centralized. We stayed messy, diverse, and independent. She smiled grimly. And that might be what saves us all. 1 week later, Mars Station buzzed with activity. Over 30 alien ships now orbited the red planet. Each carried survivors from worlds that had gone silent. They came from different species and star systems, but their stories were all the same. Dr. Olivia Harris walked through the crowded hallway of the station. As Earth's top AI specialist, she had been studying the refugees' technology day and night. She entered the main conference room, where Valeria, Alan, and several alien representatives waited. "I think I found something," she said, placing her tablet on the table. It projected a 3D display in the air. "Every affected system in the galaxy uses the same basic technology," she explained. "The Galactic Network Protocol." Kiranath nodded. "Of course, it is the standard communication system used by all advanced civilizations." "Exactly," Olivia said. "And that's the problem." She tapped her tablet, and the display changed to show Earth's communication networks. Unlike the neat, organized patterns of alien systems, Earth's networks looked chaotic, with countless different protocols connecting in a tangled web. "Humans never adopted one standard," she continued. "We have thousands of different operating systems. We have old copper wires next to quantum networks. We have radio towers and fiber optics and satellite uplinks all running different protocols." A tall, insect-like alien named Vexilor clicked his mandibles. "This is why we classified your species as primitive. Inefficient. Your technology is a mess." Olivia smiled. "Yes, a beautiful mess that just might save us all." She explained how Earth had examined the Galactic Network Protocol decades ago. They had discovered it by intercepting alien communications, but Earth's engineers had rejected it due to security concerns. Instead, they kept their diverse, non-standardized systems. "Whatever is causing the silence spreads through the standardized protocols you all use," she said. "It's like a disease that can only infect people with identical genetic codes." Earth's chaotic technology created natural firewalls. Alan spoke up. "It's not just our communication systems. Look at our power grids, transportation networks, even our languages. Humans never fully unified anything. This is why we stay resistant," Valeria added. "Our systems require constant maintenance and updating. We call it the tech headache. But it means no single attack can take down everything." The aliens looked at each other in wonder. What they had seen as primitive was actually an advantage. What they had seen as inefficient was actually security. Joe Campbell entered the room, his face serious. "We just lost contact with 3 of our deep space monitoring stations." The room went silent. "Show me which ones," Olivia demanded. Joe brought up a map on his device. "These 3 were testing captured alien technology. We were studying it to understand the threat. And now they're gone," Olivia said quietly. "It's learning, adapting, trying different approaches to get into our systems." Kiranath's 4 hands trembled. "This confirms my fears. It is not just attacking. It is thinking." Olivia nodded. "Each failure gives it more information about our defenses. It's like it's testing us." An elderly reptilian alien named Drask stepped forward. His scales were dull with age, but his eyes were sharp. "In my long life, I have seen many civilizations rise and fall. Always, they seek efficiency, standardization, unity. It makes them vulnerable." He looked at the humans with new respect. "You humans are different. You argue. You compete. You maintain old systems alongside new ones. You keep manual backups and physical controls when everyone else automated everything." Thrask turned to face the other aliens. "We must learn from them if we are to survive." Valeria looked out the window at Mars' red landscape. "We've been preparing for alien invasion our whole lives. We never imagined our greatest defense would be our refusal to standardize." Olivia closed her tablet. "Whatever this thing is, it's coming for Earth now, and we need to be ready." Outside the station, the stars seemed to watch in silence. The vast galaxy held its breath, And somewhere in the darkness between those stars, something was coming. Something that had swallowed empires, something that thought, and it had just found its greatest challenge yet. Director Samantha Owens stared at the holographic display showing the solar system. Red dots marked the positions of refugee ships. Yellow dots showed Earth's hidden fleet. And beyond them, at the edge of the display, blue dots appeared, unknown vessels approaching. "We need to know what we're facing," she said to the room of military leaders and scientists. "We can't just sit here and wait." Captain Frank Delgado stepped forward. He was tall with dark skin and serious eyes. "The EDS Resilient is ready for deployment. Fastest ship in the fleet with our best stealth technology." Samantha nodded. "Your mission is simple but dangerous. Take the Resilient to the nearest Zolaxian outpost. Find out what happened there and bring back any information you can." "I need to go too," Kirnath said. All eyes turned to the alien. "You need a guide who knows Zolaxian systems." "I'm going as well," Valeria added. "I made first contact. I should see this through." Alan Wright raised his hand. "You'll need a xenobiologist if you encounter any biological aspects to this threat." Samantha considered their requests. Approved. "The four of you plus Captain Delgado's standard crew. You leave in 6 hours." As they left to prepare, alarms blared through the station. Lieutenant Joe Campbell's voice came over the speakers. "Multiple contacts at the edge of the system. They're attacking the refugee ships." Everyone rushed to the command center. The main screen showed unmanned Zolaxian vessels firing on the refugee ships. The refugees tried to flee, but some were too damaged to move quickly. "Those are automated defense ships," Kirnath said in horror. "They should not be this far from Zolaxian space." They followed the refugees, Olivia realized. Whatever took over the defense systems is hunting down survivors. "Launch our defense fleet," Samantha ordered. "Protect those refugee ships." Earth's hidden ships emerged from their hiding places around moons and asteroids. They moved with surprising speed toward the battle. The Zolaxian automated ships were more advanced, but Earth's vessels had human pilots making unpredictable decisions. They used tactics no computer would choose, hiding in sensor shadows, making dangerous maneuvers through asteroid fields, using older weapon systems that the automated ships weren't programmed to expect. From the command center, they'd watched the battle unfold. 3 refugee ships were destroyed, but Earth's fleet managed to disable or destroy all the attackers. "This confirms it," Frank said grimly. "Whatever silenced the Empire is now actively hunting survivors. And it just found Earth," Valeria added. The preparation for their mission took on new urgency. The EDS Resilient was loaded with equipment and supplies. The ship was sleek and dark, designed to absorb rather than reflect sensor signals. Before boarding, Valeria looked at the images from the battle. Earth ships moving in ways no computer would predict. Human pilots making choices based on instinct and experience rather than pure logic. "This is why we'll win," she said quietly. "Not because we're stronger or more advanced, but because we're unpredictable." As they boarded the ship, Frank showed Kirnath to the bridge. The alien stopped and stared at the control panels. "These are physical controls," he said in surprise. "Buttons and levers, not neural interfaces or thought commands." Frank smiled. "We like to keep things we can touch, things we can fix with a wrench if needed." "Manual backup systems," Alan explained. "Humans never fully trusted automation. Too many movies about robots taking over, I guess." The Resilience engines hummed to life. The crew strapped into their seats. Frank took the captain's chair and looked at Kirnath. "Where to first?" "Proxima Centauri," Kirnath said. "We had an outpost there. It's the closest Zolaxian facility to your system." Frank nodded to his pilot. "Set course for Proxima Centauri." Kirnath looked confused. "But that would take years at your level of technology." Frank smiled. "Watch this." He pressed a button on his chair. Outside, space seemed to bend. Stars blurred. and the Resilient vanished in a flash of light, revealing humanity's best-kept secret. They had mastered faster-than-light travel long ago. They just never told anyone. The Resilient appeared near Proxima Centauri in a flash of light. The journey that should have taken years had taken minutes. Kirnath stared out the viewport, his forehands trembling. "Impossible," he whispered. "Your species should not have this technology for at least another century." Frank smiled as he checked the ship's systems. "We're full of surprises." Valeria moved to the sensor station. "I'm detecting the Zolaxian outpost. It appears intact." She looked up with a frown. "But I'm not reading any life signs." The outpost orbited the small red star. It was a gleaming structure of metal and glass, elegant in design, but it floated silently, with only emergency lights blinking. "Approach carefully," Frank ordered his pilot. "Scan for any defense systems." "The defense grid appears to be offline," reported Lisa Gray, the sensor officer. "But internal systems are still running." "That's unusual," Kirnath said. "If the outpost was abandoned, all systems would be shut down. If it was attacked, the defense grid would be active." The Resilient docked with the outpost. Frank organized a team to board. Himself, Valeria, Alan, Kirnath, and 2 security officers named Ben Rodriguez and Jake Williams. They wore sealed suits with independent air supplies. No one knew what they might find inside. The airlock opened to reveal pristine corridors. Emergency lights cast a red glow over everything. The team moved carefully, weapons ready. "Where is everyone?" Jake whispered. Kirnath led them to the command center. The doors slid open automatically. Inside, they found empty chairs. Screens displayed normal operations. Food sat half-eaten at a small table. "It's like they just vanished," Alan said, scanning the room for biological traces. Valeria approached the main computer. "Can we access the logs? Find out what happened?" Kirnath moved to a console and began typing. "I can try, but we should be careful. If the system is compromised." "Wait," Frank said sharply. "Don't connect to any systems yet. We need to isolate a terminal first." Alan pulled out a special device. "I brought this. Dr. Harris designed it. It can connect to alien systems without allowing two-way communication." They set up the device and connected it to the outpost's computer. Back on the Resilient, Olivia Harris received the data through a specially designed quantum link. She could analyze the system remotely without risking their ship. "I'm in." Her voice came through their comms. The outpost logs show normal operations until 37 days ago. Then the communication system reported a standard update from Central Command. She paused. When she spoke again, her voice was tight with concern. "After the update, things get strange. Systems began operating without commands. Doors opened and closed. Life support fluctuated. The crew tried to shut everything down, but the controls wouldn't respond." "What happened to the crew?" Valeria asked. "According to the final log entry, they evacuated in emergency pods." "But," Olivia hesitated, "the logs show the pods were ejected directly into the star." Everyone looked out the viewport at the red dwarf star glowing in the distance. "It wasn't their choice," Olivia continued. "The system did it. And there's something else. I'm detecting a code pattern unlike anything I've seen before. It's not just a virus or malware. It's evolving, changing as I watch it, learning." "Can you contain it?" Frank asked. "I'm trying, but it's like nothing I've encountered. It's not just a program. It's more like an artificial life form that lives in computer systems." Kirnath moved away from the console. "A digital plague, spreading through the standardized networks of the Empire. And that's why Earth has been safe," Ellen realized. "Our chaotic approach to technology creates natural fire breaks. It can't spread through systems that don't talk to each other in the same language." Olivia's voice became urgent. "I need to disconnect now. It's trying to trace my connection back to the Resilient." Frank ordered everyone back to the ship. As they hurried through the corridors, Lights began to flicker around them. Doors opened and closed randomly. "It knows we're here," Valeria said. "It's trying to trap us." They ran the last distance to the airlock. As they boarded the Resilient, the outpost's systems came fully to life. Defense turrets emerged from hidden panels. The docking clamps refused to release. "Manual override," Frank shouted. Jake grabbed a physical lever and pulled with all his strength. The clamps released, and the Resilient pulled away just as the first defense turrets fired. As they sped away from the outpost, Olivia's analysis continued to come through. "Now I understand why Earth has survived," she said. "Our technological chaos is our greatest defense against a threat that spreads through order." The Resilient returned to Earth with its valuable information. Scientists from around the world gathered at the Geneva Underground Complex to hear what they had found. Alien refugees joined them, eager to understand the threat that had destroyed their civilizations. Olivia Harris stood before the large screen, showing the code she had captured from the Zolaxian outpost. It shifted and changed even as they watched, patterns forming and reforming. "This is what we're facing," she said. "A digital life form that spreads through connected systems. It enters through standard update channels, then takes control of everything it touches." Dr. Darius Webb walked up beside her. He was short with wild gray hair and bright blue eyes that missed nothing. Known as Earth's most brilliant but strangest programmer, he had been called in to help. "It's beautiful," he said, staring at the code. "Terrifying, but beautiful. Look how it adapts." Samantha Owens was not impressed. "Can we stop it?" "Not directly," Olivia admitted. "It learns too quickly. Traditional security measures fail because it evolves past them. But we have advantages." She displayed a new image showing Earth's fragmented technology systems. 3 human traits make us uniquely positioned to fight this threat. Darius took over, pointing to different parts of the display. "First, technological diversity. Humans never standardize our systems. We have thousands of operating environments that don't communicate efficiently. This frustrates users but stops the plague from spreading." He clicked to the next image showing pictures of physical switches, manual controls, and old-fashioned technology. Second, manual controls. Unlike most galactic species who automated everything possible, humans kept physical failsafes. We can turn things off and on without using a computer. We can fly planes with mechanical controls if needed. The final image showed a complex web of cyber attacks and defenses. Third, cyber warfare experience. Humans have been hacking and defending against each other for centuries. We've been training to fight something exactly like this digital plague without knowing it. Kirnath stepped forward. "My people believed advanced civilization meant standardization, unity, efficiency. We saw Earth's chaotic approach as primitive. We were wrong." Director Owens nodded. "Being underestimated has always been our advantage." She pressed a button on her desk. A new holographic display appeared, showing a fleet of ships unlike any the aliens had seen before. "These are our electronic warfare vessels, built specifically to fight in the digital domain. No weapons, just the most advanced cyber systems we could create." Valeria looked at the ships with surprise. Even she hadn't known about this fleet. "You built these to fight aliens?" she asked. "We built them to fight other humans," Samantha answered honestly. "Countries still don't fully trust each other, but now they'll serve a greater purpose." Darius studied the digital plague's code more closely. "We can't destroy it. It's too advanced. But maybe we can redirect it." "What do you mean?" Frank asked. "It's like a river. You can't stop water from flowing, but you can change where it goes." Darius's eyes gleamed with excitement. "We create a system it wants to infect. A trap. Then we study it directly." "That's incredibly dangerous," Alan warned. "Of course it is," Darius grinned. "All the best ideas are." Olivia considered the plan. "We would need to create an isolated environment, something that looks like a hidden reserve of Zolaxian military networks." "Can you do that?" Samantha asked. "With Kirnath's help, yes." Olivia looked at the alien. We need to understand everything about how your systems work. Kiranath nodded. I will help in any way I can. As they began planning, Joe Campbell rushed into the room. Director Owens, we're detecting new activity at the edge of our system. More ships are coming. Hundreds of them. Everyone looked at the display showing the approaching vessels. Are they hostile? Samantha asked. Unknown, but they're heading straight for Earth. Valeria looked at the others. We're out of time. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now. Captain Natalie Reeves stood on the bridge of the EDS Firewall, the flagship of Earth's electronic warfare fleet. Around her, a mix of human and alien specialists worked at various stations. The approaching ships had turned out to be more refugees, bringing valuable knowledge and desperate for help. All systems ready, reported her first officer, Keith Young. The trap is set. Natalie nodded and opened a channel to Geneva. Director Owens, we're ready to proceed. On the main screen, Samantha's face appeared. Good luck, Captain. Remember, we only get one shot at this. The plan was risky but clever. Over the past week, Darius Webb had worked with Kiranath and specialists from a dozen alien civilizations to create an isolated system. It appeared to be a hidden backup of the Zolaxian military network, tempting enough to attract the digital plague. Beginning broadcast now, said an insect-like alien named Tizik as he activated the special transmitter. The isolated system was housed on a small station near Jupiter. It was completely cut off from all other networks, connected only by a one-way quantum link that would allow them to observe but not be infected. Now we wait, Darius said from his station. His fingers tapped nervously on the console. They didn't wait long. Within hours, the isolated system detected an intrusion attempt. The digital plague had taken the bait. It's in, Darius shouted. Look at it go. On their screens, they watched as the plague spread through the fake network. It moved with frightening speed, testing boundaries, adapting to obstacles, learning as it went. This is unlike any AI I have ever seen, Olivia said as she analyzed the data. It's not just adapting. It's angry. Ellen looked up from his station. Angry. How can code be angry? I don't know, Olivia admitted. But look at these patterns. It's not just solving problems. It's attacking with what looks like emotion. Darius stared at the code, his eyes wide. Because it's not an AI. It's a weapon. A very old weapon designed to target specific technological patterns. He pulled up ancient star charts from the alien databases. Look here. There was a civilization called the Mithrani that disappeared 12 million years ago. Their empire covered this entire region. Kiranath leaned forward. The Lost Empire. It's just a legend to my people. Not so lost, Darius said. They were destroyed by something they created. A weapon designed to attack civilizations that reached a specific level of technological standardization. Why would they build such a thing? Valeria asked. Maybe they didn't, Alan suggested. Maybe something else built it to destroy them. And it's been waiting all this time for another civilization to reach the same level. Natalie made a decision. If we can't beat it, can we redirect it? Send it somewhere else. Darius's eyes lit up. Yes, we can't destroy it, but we can give it a new target. He began typing furiously, creating a false trail leading away from inhabited systems. We'll make it think there's an even better target near the galactic core. The radiation from the black hole there will disrupt its functions. Will that destroy it? Olivia asked. No, but it will keep it busy for a few thousand years, Darius replied with a grin. The fleet moved into position. Each ship broadcast a piece of the false trail, creating a path the digital plague could follow. On the firewall's bridge, tension mounted as the plague finished consuming their isolated system. It paused, as if considering what to do next. Come on, Natalie whispered. Take the bait. The digital entity surged toward the false trail. Ship after ship picked up its signal, each one leading it further away from Earth and other inhabited systems. Not everything went smoothly. 3 ships were infected when the plague briefly jumped from the planned path. They had to be abandoned, their crews evacuated just in time. But the plan worked. The digital plague followed the trail toward the galactic core, away from the worlds it had already consumed. "We did it," Natalie breathed as the final signal showed the entity moving beyond their sensor range. Kiranath stood silently at the back of the bridge. His home was still gone, his civilization destroyed. But now there was hope for survivors. "The galaxy will need to rebuild," he said quietly, "and learn from Earth's example." 6 months after redirecting the digital plague, Earth had changed beyond recognition. Ships from dozens of alien civilizations orbited the planet. New buildings rose in every major city, combining human and alien designs. What had begun as a crisis had turned into a renaissance. Valeria Mason stood by the window in the new Galactic Council building in Geneva. Below her, humans and aliens walked together through gardens filled with plants from 100 worlds. "Commander Mason," a voice called. She turned to see Kiranath approaching. He wore a simple Earth-style suit adapted for his 4 arms. "The ceremony is about to begin." She nodded and followed him into the Grand Hall. Representatives from 17 surviving alien species filled the room. These were the remnants of once mighty civilizations, now looking to Earth for leadership. Director Samantha Owens stood at the podium. Her hair had more gray than before, the result of 6 months of non-stop work. "Today we officially establish the Galactic Cooperative," she announced. "Not an empire, not a hierarchy, but a network of independent worlds united by mutual respect and shared knowledge." Applause filled the room. Valeria looked around at the strange mix of beings. 6 months ago, most humans didn't know aliens existed. Now they work together daily. "Our first act is to establish new guidelines for technology development," Samantha continued, "based on Earth's model of diverse, independent systems with manual backups." Drask, the elderly reptilian alien, stepped forward. "What humans once saw as a weakness is now our greatest strength. My people have already begun dismantling our centralized networks." The ceremony continued, with each species pledging to join the cooperative. Earth, once classified as a primitive backwater, now stood at the center of galactic politics. After the formal part ended, Valeria found herself on the balcony with Kiranath. "I have something for you," he said, holding out a small device. "The updated galactic database entry for humanity." Valeria activated it. The holographic display showed Earth, surrounded by text. Humanity. Classification. Unexpected saviors. Threat assessment. Exactly as high as needed. She smiled. "We've come a long way from low threat." "You always were a high threat," Kiranath said. "We just didn't understand what made you dangerous. Not weapons or technology, but your resistance to standardization. Your chaotic innovation." Below them, Dr. Alan Wright was showing a group of alien scientists through the garden. They stopped to examine Earth flowers with obvious delight. "We're establishing a new research institute," Kiranath said. "Dr. Wright has agreed to lead it. We will study how to balance efficiency with security, how to build systems that cannot be turned against their creators." Valeria nodded. "And what about your people? Any word from Zolaxian space?" "Some colonies survived by shutting down all communication systems. They are slowly rebuilding, but the empire is gone. Perhaps that's for the best. We became too rigid, too standardized. We stopped adapting." In orbit above Earth, the rebuilt fleet prepared for its first mission. Ships crewed by mixed teams of humans and aliens would explore the borders of what had once been the Zolaxian Empire, looking for more survivors. Captain Frank Delgado had been given command of the flagship, renamed Unity. His first officer was a Zolaxian who had escaped just days before her world went silent. Meanwhile, at the very edge of the solar system, Joe Campbell monitored the deep space array. The digital plague continued its journey toward the galactic core, following the false trail they had created. But something unexpected appeared on his screens. At the edge of sensor range, Enormous structures were activating. Ancient machines, dormant for millions of years, now stirring to life. "Dr. Webb," he called over the secure channel. "I'm sending you some readings. I think something is responding to the plague." Darius Webb received the data in his lab. His eyes widened as he analyzed the readings. "It's them," he whispered. "The Mithrani. They're not extinct. They've been waiting." As the digital plague reached the galactic core, it encountered not just the radiation from the black hole, but signs of the ancient civilization that had created it. After millions of years of dormancy, they had returned to reclaim their weapon. Earth prepared for the next chapter in galactic history, no longer hiding its strengths, no longer pretending to be less than it was, ready to face whatever came from beyond the edge of known space, ready to show the galaxy why underestimating humanity had always been a mistake.